Hello friends, Heidi here from Rain Country. God is good all the time. And even though this is a this and that video, this is going to be one of those that I squeeze in between some of the other ones I already have scheduled to publish. So it's actually going to go up in just a few days from actually shooting rather than 3 weeks like most of my videos. But especially because I'm going to be talking about garden stuff, and that's why I want to squeeze it in there. So whenever I'm doing a garden type video or anything where I'm talking about gardening, I try to get those up right away so that you can see that actually closer to the time and understand where we are as far as our climate. Now, we did just recently get some snow, and it was the first snow and probably the last snow. The sun is out right now. It's beautiful. The sun's going to be melting away. We've had really cold nights, so it's not melting away very quickly, but not as quick as I'd like. It is melting, and it's been beautiful out, and I do have a picture right here of Mr. Rain. He had to get out there and using the tool that he made a couple of years ago when we got snow on our solar panels. He rigged up a tool so that he wouldn't have to climb on top of the roof and to scrape the snow off. And we did do a video of that, and I'll go ahead and link to it up there in the corner. But anyway, yeah, we had to do that so we could, you know, get our solar collection, especially because the sun was really shining and we wanted to get the most out of it. But when you got a thick layer of snow on there, you're going to get very little to no solar collection. So you really got to clean those solar panels off. So his long handled tool worked really good. And I think this is the second year or third that he's been able to use that. So in our last video, which was another one I squeezed in there where Pat and I are sitting in the living room, and it's a little dark, sorry about that, but our living room is really dark. Even with the added light we put in there, it's still dark. I talked a little bit about the garden, so I wanted to go a little bit more in depth on some of that. So I did talk about in that how I had pansies that have been blooming all through the winter, not getting tons of blooms, but you know, just a little flower here and there, and all of a sudden they've really started putting out more flowers. And then suddenly I took a picture of it that I'll put right here. It was when it just started snowing, and it was just a little thin layer of snow, but then by that night they were totally covered up in snow, and now the snow's melting away and the flowers still look beautiful. It's just really kind of crazy because it's the first year that's ever happened that we've had pansies that bloomed all year. Some other things that are doing really good in the garden are the kale. Even after the snow, the kale still looks beautiful. I'm still able to harvest some every day. And the thyme looks really good. It's looked good all winter, but silly me, because I'm so used to things in the wintertime just being done. And sometimes even the herbs that still look good in the winter don't taste very good in the winter. They have a much better flavor in the spring and summer. So that's probably another reason why I didn't think to go out and check the thyme and harvest it. But my thyme just kept its color and looking beautiful all winter long, which is great because thyme is one of those things I find it harder to grow here and make it through our very, very wet winters. And because it stayed beautiful looking all winter long, I feel like we're going to have I might really be able to start harvesting some off come spring and summer. Other things that have been starting to grow, like I mentioned in a previous video, are the elderberries. They're starting to leaf out. The blueberries have some buds on them that look really great. And of course, I did get the grapevines mostly pruned back. I still have that one spot I got to get to. I should probably do that today because it's a beautiful day, and get that ladder out there and finally get the last of that pruned up. And then another thing I wanted to talk about, the chickens. The chickens are doing really, really good. They went through their first hard molt this last year, and of course looked pretty sad, as any chicken owners know, for a little while. But they're buff Orpingtons, and you know, they're a good heavy bird because they're also a dual purpose bird, you know, for meat and for eggs. And they didn't take long to fill back out. I swear they look bigger and fluffier than they did last year when they went through a much lighter molt last year, but this year they went through a harder molt, and it seems like their feathers came in much more full. They just look so fat. But anyway, I'm really happy with the chickens. They're happy, they're healthy, and they've started laying again. They've been laying for several weeks now, and not all of them. A couple of them have started laying. Not all of them have started laying yet. So we have 7. For those of you who are new, we have 7 chickens right now. That's probably the max that we should really take in our small area. But we do plan on getting some new chicks maybe this year, and which means, of course, the sad part is we'll have to dispatch some of the older birds. And that's our plan, as long as we're here, is to kind of work through them like that, which means dispatching of them will probably be meaning I will be canning up some chicken meat, because from what I understand, when they're older, 2 or 3 years old, the meat gets a little tough. But as far as canning or making soup out of, it's really good. So I'm looking at canning the meat. I loved canned chicken meat, and I think it should turn out pretty good, but we'll see. That will be a whole new experience for us when we get to it. Now back to some more gardening stuff. So right here, this little pile, this is some of the marshmallow roots I've harvested so far. Most of this is off of a smaller marshmallow that I pulled up. And if you saw the marshmallow root that we harvested last year, because we needed to move it out of the way before we did some more work out there in the garden, because the marshmallows, they just get big. That was a huge root. I'll go ahead and link to that video right up here. Massive. The thing was huge. And then we pulled up the one next to it, dug that up just the other day, and it wasn't near as big as that one last year. So I was expecting it to be just huge. So, and some of the roots on here are from that one, not all of them. But anyway, the other one that was a smaller one was just another one I needed to pull up and get out of the way, because I'm going to be putting something else there, because I have marshmallows growing all over the place. And then I noticed in late summer of 2018, I actually started getting little marshmallow starts coming up all over the place from the seed of the marshmallow from before. And so that's really great. Now, anyone who's interested in purchasing marshmallow seed, I still have a bunch up on the store right now, and you can go ahead and check those out. And if you're interested in buying them, marshmallow seeds are our top seller. And anyway, I highly recommend it. It is one of my favorite medicinal herbs. I have a couple videos out just on the marshmallow, why I grow it. I have a video on the medicinal benefits, and I'll link to one of those right up here, and then you can go check out the other marshmallow videos relate about that. In the video you should have just seen on my homemade chocolate, this is another reason why I wanted to get this video out right away. I was using some raisins that you'll see right here. I was running low on. I think this is the last jar, and I love these raisins so much. I was getting them from Amazon, and I unfortunately, I said I was going to link to them if they had them. They still do not have them anymore, and I'm guessing they're not going to carry them anymore, which is really a bummer, because these are still my favorite. However, I did give these ones a try. I went ahead and purchased these, and though I still like the other ones best, these ones I would say are very close second. So I will link to these below if you're interested in looking for some organic raisins. These are still kind of more the golden color rather than the real dark ones like you get in the Sun-Maid brand. I personally don't really care for the Sun-Maid brand. I don't know why, but even the organic, I just not as happy with them as I am with these. So these are sultana raisins. They're a little bit different than the other kinds of raisins that you buy in. Really good. Again, I don't like them quite as much as the ones that Amazon used to carry, but these are still very good. They're organic, non-GMO, all that kind of stuff. So whenever you're looking at raisins or grapes, those are one of the things you really want to look for organic in. It's really important, because anything where you're going to eat the skin, especially, you really want to focus on organic. If you're going to peel it, it's usually not such a big deal, but grapes and raisins, strawberries are another one. Anyway, so I wanted to make sure that I got that out there so you guys can see that. And a couple other things going on is I did just get done shooting my part 3 winemaking video, so that's what's going on back here. But I'm not sure if at the time you see this video, if part 2 is even published yet. I think it's going to publish shortly after this, if not right before it. But anyway, be watching for that video coming out in the future. So it'll be probably a few weeks from the time you see this one, and that will be the part 3. So that will be the next step after the after the one we're doing. And it looks like this video's, the winemaking series, is probably going to be in 4 parts. So total. But it's not hard. It's just a long process because you have to do a lot of waiting in between. And then one more thing I wanted to mention is that I've got, my skin cream has been selling like crazy on my store. And it's a good thing I've been keeping ahead on my infused oil. So this is the last infused oil where I didn't add lavender to it, and it's ready to strain out. And you can see it's got a nice color in here. So I use the avocado oil, which is pretty clear, pretty colorless. And so you can see all this color in here. That means that's the, you know, the calendula, the rose petals, the marshmallow, and the pansies all infused into the oil, you know, getting all that goodness in there. So I'm ready to strain it out so I can use it in my next batch of making skin cream. And then of course I have my brake bleeder out because I'll be taking these. This is the other reason why I wanted to get this video shot right away, is I got to get these into my jars. I don't like leaving them in the plastic bags. And then I put them in the jars like this, and then I use my brake bleeder and the lid and I seal it up. And if you're interested in seeing how I do that, I'll go ahead and link to the video right up here. Oh, I almost forgot. One more thing about the garden I wanted to mention is the valerian. Remember when I was talking, if you've been following me for a while, about growing valerian, and the first year I planted it, I got a couple plants that hung, that's, you know, that were growing okay, and they did not make it through the winter. However, it looks like at least one of my valerians has made it through the winter so far, because it's starting to get new growth. It's really tiny. So here's a picture of it. It's pretty small, but those are new leaves coming in on that valerian. So that's pretty cool. And also I want to show you a picture of what, if you grew marshmallow last year, here are what the shoots look like when they're first starting to grow. So if you have it still in your ground from last year, you should start seeing real soon some little red shoots coming up, and that's what they look like. Okay, well, I hope you enjoyed my this and that video. Thanks for watching. Take care, and God bless.